Fire in a small-town convenience store, killing one and injuring three others.
Vaccine delivery set a new record this weekend. I'm Natalie Brand in Washington with why the administration says it will not surge doses to states seeing a sharp rise in.
And preparations are underway for the funeral of Britain's Prince Philip.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
An investigation is underway in Branson after a mushroom hunter discovers human skeletal remains. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes, a death investigation in southwest Missouri. The discovery happened on Saturday. Officials with the Branson Police Department say a mushroom hunter found the human remains in a wooded area near State Highway 248 and Gretna Road. Police are now working to identify the remains. The police department says they do have a current missing persons case in the area, but they do not believe these remains are related to that case. Well, one person is dead and three others injured after a shooting at a convenience store in a small southern Missouri town. It happened shortly after 5 a.m. Saturday morning at the Snappy Mart in Koshkonong. That's about 16 miles southeast of West Plains, Missouri. Authorities say the suspect, 28-year-old Christopher Lindley from Thayer, Missouri, walked into the convenience store and started firing with a handgun. Three of the victims, including the person who died, were from out of state. Several witnesses inside the store were not hurt. Oregon County Sheriff Eric King says a description of Lindley's vehicle in a neighboring county led to the arrest.
He was found in Howe County, between West Plains and Kosh. There had been a tip submitted to the Howe County Sheriff's Office about a possible sighting of the vehicle, and he was located following up on that tip.
Christopher Lindley is charged with first-degree murder and criminal action. He is being held without bond. Sheriff King says Lindley knew at least one of the victims, but that his motive in the shooting is unclear. Well, we've got some cooler temps headed our way this week. Michael Hayslip joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Tanya, that's a great point, because when we look at our average high for this time of mid-April, we should be around 70 degrees each and every day. But that's going to be a thing that we're going to have to wait all the way into next week for. But even with that being said, and the growing cloud cover, it really has been a delightful Monday, with temperatures ranging anywhere from the high 50s and throwing up just a couple of 60s already on the board in Oswego and in Parsons. 61 right now in Newata. And even with the cloud cover, we'll get a little gradual warming as we push into the afternoon hours, but really not going to see anything above, say, 63, 64 degrees. Now, after sunset at 7:51, that's when we'll turn our attention to a little rain. Everything is going to develop down by the Red River, make its way up through central Oklahoma, and really dominate right along I-44 and south thereof. So about 8, 9 o'clock is when it starts through northeast Oklahoma and our southern counties of southwest Missouri. Not looking at anything severe, but may hear a rumble of thunder and a couple lightning bolts. It's actually going to carry us past midnight, grow a little bit, not too far to the north. Far northwest section and northern portions of the 4 states going to stay dry. And our accumulation numbers, just about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So not too impressive to worry about flooding. Finally clearing it off for Tuesday morning. Tuesday is going to be cool as well. Speaking of cooler temperatures, how about a look at the 7-day forecast? It is going to be delightful middle of the week, just cooler than anticipated, and take advantage of it, because coming up here in just a little bit, Tanya, we'll talk about the next 4 days, how nice they're going to be compared to what's coming up on Friday.
Yep. Sorry, kids. It's too early to bring out the shorts and tank tops just yet.
Yeah, I still got the long underwear on.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah. Most of us are just
Hank's head in
pants. Shame. All right. Thanks, Michael. The Biden administration says its vaccine rollout plan is accelerating, but it says it will not change how it distributes the vaccines to states, even as some states are seeing a rise in new cases. Natalie Brand has the latest.
The U.S. set a new one-day record for vaccine shots delivered this weekend. Andy Slavitt, the White House's senior COVID response advisor, tweeted 4.6 million doses were administered Saturday alone.
We're administering shots at a record pace, and we're adding millions more each week.
Michigan, which is seeing the country's biggest surge in new cases, is asking for more vaccines to be diverted to the state.
What's happening in Michigan today could be what's happening in other states tomorrow. And so it's on all of us to recognize If we can squash where we're seeing hot spots, it's in everyone's best interest.
But the Biden administration said Friday it will not surge doses to state hotspots.
The fair and equitable way to distribute the vaccine is based on the adult population by state, tribe, and territory. That's how it's been done, and we will continue to do so.
The CDC says the rise in cases in the upper Midwest can be traced to the variant first detected in the UK and is being spread more easily among school-aged children, especially those taking part in sports. Michigan's governor is calling for a 2-week pause in youth sports and in-person learning in high schools.
We are encouraging schools to move forward, to take a pause right now, and to promulgate policies to keep their students and their staff safe.
The FDA says it's evaluating a new request by Pfizer to expand emergency use authorization of its COVID vaccine to young people ages 12 to 15. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Pfizer says it tested its vaccine on more than 2,000 young people ages 12 to 15, and none of the recipients developed symptomatic infections or had serious side effects. The results of that trial have not yet been published in a peer-reviewed journal. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, UK continues its week of mourning as Britain honors Prince Philip, a man who served his queen and country. And later, we're making a super yummy graham cracker cake in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Britain is in a week of national mourning to honor the life of Prince Philip, the Queen's husband, who died on Friday at 99 years old. CBS's Ian Lee is in London with a look ahead to his funeral next weekend.
A spring snow fell at Windsor Castle, an unusual sight at a heartbreaking time.
It makes you feel heavy. It's so sad.
Queen Elizabeth is in seclusion, describing the loss of Prince Philip as a huge void in her life. Fitting tributes echoed across the UK over the weekend as the nation honored a man who served his queen and country.
As you can imagine, my family and I miss my father enormously.
The funeral will be held on Saturday at St. George's Chapel here at Windsor Castle. The palace had intended to invite around 800 people, but because of COVID restrictions, just 30 will attend. Prince Harry will be among them. He flew back to the UK from California, but Meghan's pregnancy means she won't join him. Just weeks ago, the couple gave a bombshell interview to Oprah, alleging racism in the royal family.
I think Harry will be greeted as a very, very close family member by his granny, by his father, by his brother, and by his cousins.
Royal watchers say such a big loss may bring healing.
I think togetherness, especially at the funeral of a great patriarch, I think is going to be the key thing.
The service will be broadcast live around the world, with Prince Charles and his sons William and Harry walking behind the coffin. Prince Philip's body will be brought to the chapel in a modified Land Rover, which he designed before his death. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Prince Harry released a statement about the loss of his grandfather, saying, "He was my grandpa, master of the barbecue, legend of banter, and cheeky right till the end." Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Today, we're giving graham crackers a leading role in a dessert that's not what you might expect. Any ideas as to what we're whipping up?
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Clouds growing outside of Television City, but it certainly has been a wonderful start to our work week as our temperatures right now a little bit cooler than what we experienced yesterday, but still a very comfortable 58 degrees. We're going to concentrate a little bit on our barometer here because looks can be deceiving. While it says it's on the rise, and it certainly is, that's going to change here as we get into the nighttime hours. Temperatures ranging anywhere from 63 in Miami, currently our clubhouse leader, to 56 in Lamar. 59 is where we sit in Chanute. Now, we talked this morning, if you missed the KOAM morning news, completely understand, but we actually kind of start right there with our temperature change. We were up 7 to 8 degrees compared to where we were Sunday morning. That's right, our Monday morning was warmer than our Sunday morning. But of course, yesterday we got close to 80 degrees at Joplin Regional Airport. So as we stand quarter after 12 right now, we're actually a whole lot cooler throughout the entire Midwest. And the big reason for that is the complete shift in the winds as it now drops in from the northeast, anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Strongest gusts we're going to see this afternoon and evening, only going to be about 20 to 25, so not as blustery as what it was last week, that's for sure. Growing cloud cover has moved in from the northwest, but we remain on the dry side. All eyes will be down to the south later on tonight as far as what we're going to pick up. Haven't seen really anything originate, but we'll look from the Red River up through central Oklahoma, right along this line right here for some thunderstorm activity as the jet stream really has flattened out in a straight west to east movement. And a big low pressure system is going to develop right in central Kansas. That's why we were talking about the barometer right there on the rise. But with the glowing cloud cover, we know what this is going to do. It's going to grow, drop straight down, and stall out in central Arkansas. The key factor of where it stalls out is it's really going to force the majority of the thunderstorm activity to the southeast of us. Not to say we're not going to see any rain for our southern counties, but we're going to be able to stay out of anything severe. Highs today, just a couple more degrees depending on where you are. That cloud cover really going to play an impact on our later afternoon hours, but it does trap in the heat and gives us a nice mild Tuesday morning. Before we get to Tuesday morning, though, let's talk about that thunderstorm activity. As it originates along and south of I-44, we'll see some little raindrops just on the north side of it, but I want to concentrate on the southern southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, and northwest Arkansas, because that's where we'll see some lightning, hear some rumbles of thunder, and it will last all the way into early Tuesday morning. Really wants to blow up, though, when it gets just east of the Ozarks through south central Missouri. We kind of stay out of the fray, and it's clearing off there by late Tuesday. For our mowing forecast, and when I say mowing forecast, I mean anything you want to do outside for that matter. Monday is going to be good for the rest of the day. Tuesday, just going to put that in the fair category in case you do run into some of that rain tomorrow. Could be a little bit soggy depending on what your plans are, but then Wednesday and Thursday are looking absolutely great. Need to get everything done before Friday though. Our severe thunderstorm risk map for tonight into tomorrow morning, remember the lighter green, simply thunderstorm activity and showers. You can tell the most, even the minimal, that stays way down to the south of us. Now going back to our outdoor forecast, if you will, the reason the next 4 days are important to get outside and enjoy something is because look at Friday. Not only widespread rain, but temperatures dropping down into the low 50s. That's as warm as we're going to get. Tanya, by the time we get to Friday, our average high should be about 20 degrees warmer than that.
Oh, that's a big change.
4 days though, 4 days of great outdoor weather.
Just enjoy it?
Especially if you thought yesterday was maybe a little too warm for your taste, and I completely understand with it only being mid-April and close to 80 degrees. This is going to be absolutely perfect.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Staff Sergeant Les Key in the U.S. Army. The Miami, Oklahoma native served in Korea in 1950. He was a paratrooper, ranger, and gliderman with this 82nd Airborne Unit. To Staff Sergeant Les Key, we thank you, our four-state hero. When you think of graham crackers, you might think of crushing them up to make a pie crust or a sandwiched around a chocolate and marshmallow concoction. You know, that's a s'more. How about using it inside a cake? Howard shows us how to make his super moist graham cracker cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Over the years, we've used graham crackers in all kinds of recipes. You know, we've crushed them and mixed them with melted butter to create the die-for crust for everything from cheesecakes to homemade pies. And everyone knows that if you sandwich a chocolate bar in a toasted marshmallow, between a couple of them, you end up with ooey gooey s'mores. But today, I want to show you how to make an easy as can be recipe that turns graham cracker crumbs into a cake that's amazing. We begin by creaming some butter and sugar. Once that comes together, we mix in a good amount of graham cracker crumbs, some eggs, baking powder, milk, and a bit of vanilla. Now, after stirring in some coconut and pecans, we spoon this into a baking dish. Over that goes a pineapple glaze, and into the oven it goes to bake. After it cools, get ready for a cake that's packed with flavor, thanks to the graham crackers. And boy, is it ever moist. To get your hands on our graham cracker cake recipe, all you have to do is check out our website. You know, I think you'll really be missing out if you don't try this one. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweet change of pace way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices. There are currently about 500 children in the Kansas foster care system who are waiting to be adopted, and each Monday during our noon newscast, we plan to honor one of those children in the hopes of getting them closer to finding their forever home. Today's Monday's child is Ian, a clever and creative 8-year-old who relishes spending time outside and loves hiking and swimming and any activities, frankly, involving water. Ian is a caring boy and needs a family who can provide a calming, patient, and loving home. If you'd like to learn more about Ian, you can log on to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on the Lifestyles link. All right, check of our forecast. Michael?
Well, he deserves to be on the lifestyle page with that hat. That was tremendous. Ian, that is a great hat, man. I'll find out where he got that. Afternoon planner has temperatures in the low 60s. That's as good as we're going to get. Thunderstorm activity along and south of I-44, leading us to cooler temperatures for the rest of the week. Tanya?
Well, coming up tonight at 5, phishing scams are increasing during the pandemic, with con artists sending out emails and texts hoping to reel in victims. One type of scam steals the information of people who are trying to collect unemployment. We'll show you how the scammers are using fake websites to do it. Plus, tax experts explain why some people continue to wait for their tax returns and stimulus payments. And we take a look at local vaccination rates compared to state and national averages. Join us for those stories tonight on KOAM News at 5.
Thanks for joining us here at noon. Tanya and I will see you again tomorrow morning.
And the rest of the team right back here at 5 o'clock.